Assalamu alaikum. Good day. I am Shahana Odin, and this is my declamation of I Am a Filipino by Carlos P. Ramulio. I am a Filipino, inheritor of glorious past, hostage to the uncertain future. As such, I must prove equal to the twofold task, the task of meeting my responsibility to the past, and the task of performing my obligation to the future. I sprung from a hard race, child many generations removed of ancient Malay pioneers. Across the centuries, the memory comes rushing back to me, of brown-skinned men putting out to the sea in ships that were as frail as their hearts were stout. Over the sea, I see them come, borne upon the billowing wave and the whistling wind, carried upon the mighty swell of hope, hope in the pre-abundance of new land that was to be their home and their child's forever. This is the land they sought and found, every inch of shore that their eyes first set upon, every hill and mountain that beckoned to them with a green and purple invitation, every mile of rolling plain that their view encompassed, every river and lake that promised a plentiful living and a fruitful of commerce, is a hallowed spot to me. By the strength of their hearts and hands, by every right of law, human and divine, this land, all the appurtenances thereof, the black and fertile soil, the seas and lakes and rivers teeming with fish, the forests with inaccessible wealth in wildlife and timber, the mountain with their bowels swollen with minerals, and a wool of this rich and happy land has been, for centuries without number, the land of my fathers. This land I received in trust from them, and in trust will pass it to my children, and so on, until the world is no more. I am a Filipino. In my blood runs the immortal seed of heroes, seed that flowered down the centuries in deeds of courage and defiance. In my veins yet pulses the same hot blood that sent Lapu-Lapu to the battle against the first invaders of this land, that nerves Lacandula in the combat against the allied foe, that drove Diego Silang and Dagohoy into rebellion against the foreign oppressor. That seed is immortal. It is the same seed that flowered in heart of Jose Rizal that morning in Bagumbayan, when a volley of shots put an end to all that was mortal of him and made him a spirit. That lasts forever. The same that flowered in the heart of Bonifacio and Balintawak, of Gregorio del Pilar and Tirad past of Antonio Luna and Columpit, that bloom in flowers of frustration in the sad heart of Emilio Aguinaldo at Panan, and yet burst forth loyalty against in the proud heart of Manuel L. Quezon when he stood at last on the threshold of ancient Malacanang Palace, in the symbolic act of possession and racial vindication. The seed I bear within me is an immortal seed. It is a mark of my manhood, the symbol of dignity as a human being. Like the seed that were once buried in the tomb of Tutankhamen many thousand years ago, it shall grow a flower and bear fruit again. It is the insignia of my race, and my generation is but a stage in an unending research of my people for freedom and happiness. I am a Filipino, child of the marriage of the East and the West. I am the East, an eager participant in its spirit and its struggles for rebellion from the imperialist yoke. But I also know that the East must awake from its century asleep, shake all the lethargy that has found his limbs and start to moving where destiny awaits. For I am too am of the West, and the vigorous people of the West have destroyed forever, and peace and quiet that once were ours. I can no longer live, a being apart from those whose word was tremble to the roar of bomb and cannot shut, cannon shut. I cannot say of a matter of universal life and death, of freedom and slavery for all mankind. That is concerned me not. For no man and no nation is an island, but a part of the main. There is no longer east and west, only individuals and nation making those momentous choices which are the hinges upon which history resolves. In the vanguard of progress in this part of the world, I stand, I forlorn figure in the eyes of some, but not the one defeated and lost. For through the thick interlacing braces of habit and customs above me, I have seen the light of the sun, and I know that it is good. I have seen the light of justice and equality, and freedom. My heart has been lifted by the vision of democracy, and I shall not rest until my land and my people shall have been blessed by this beyond the power of any man or nation to subvert or destroy. I am Filipino, and this is my inheritance. What pledge shall I give that I may prove worthy of my inheritance? I shall give the pledge that has come ringing down the corridors of the centuries, and it shall be compounded of the joyous cries of my Malayan warbear. When first they saw the contour of the stand loom before their eyes, of the battle cries that have renowned in every field of combat, from Mactan to Trinidad Pass, of the voices of my people when they sing Land of the Morning. Child of the sun returning, ne'er shall invaders trample thy sacred shore. Out of the lush green of the 7,000 isles, out of the heartstrings of 6 million people, all vibrating to one song, I shall wave the mighty fabric of my pledge. Out of the songs of the farmers at sunrise, when they go to labor in the fields, out of the sweat of the hands-bitten pioneer in Manglig and Coronadal, out of the silent endurance of stevedores, of the fears of the ominous grumbling of peasants in Pampanga, out of the first cries of babies newly born and lullabies that mother sings, out of the crashing of gears and the whine of turbines in the factories, out of the crunch of log shears uptilling the earth, out of the limitless patience of teachers in the classrooms and doctors in the clinics, out of the tramps of soldiers marching, I shall make the pattern of my pledge. I am Filipino, born to freedom, and I shall not rest until freedom shall have been added unto my inheritance for myself and my children and my children's children forever.